Hey everyone. So I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video, but after reading this magazine, I am just so blown away. I have to talk about it. So for those who are not familiar, this is a brand new heavy metal magazine. I guess you could say this is a reboot of sorts. It was a sci-fi action magazine in the 1970s that was adapted into a badass animated movie in the 1980s. Very bloody, very raunchy, and when I heard about this new series, it really caught me off guard. But no joke, I loved this. To me, this magazine is everything that makes heavy metal what it is. And I really mean that. This went way beyond my expectations. And for starters, I did not realize how big this thing was going to be. There are so many comics all throughout with plenty of different talented artists and writers. You really get plenty of pages for your dollar. We also have not one, but two separate comics about Tarna, who is sort of like the mascot of heavy metal. Both of her stories are action-packed, and they're both drawn in different unique styles. One of them also gives a brief glimpse at her backstory, which is real interesting. And like I said, I think it works way better than the 2018 comics, which were not bad necessarily. I'm not saying they were like horrible or anything, but these are just way better. Even the astronaut and his daughter get their own comic, going on their own action-packed adventure. There's this one about the B-17 pilot, showing what happened to him after he landed on that island with all the zombies. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's even a couple of small strips featuring Harry Canyon and those two stoner aliens. Perhaps one of the weirdest comics to be featured is this new iteration of Vicente Segreles's The Mercenary. The Mercenary was another comic from the 1970s. Unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with the original. It's got like this Viking guy who rides around on a dragon. It's got some beautiful artwork and some creative ideas, but the story leaves a lot to be desired. But I'm hoping that they'll expand upon it in the next issue. This seems like it might be a continuation of an ongoing story. The first comic in the magazine, Bug, is also pretty unique. It takes place in a future where all digital technology just suddenly stops working for mysterious reasons. Society tries to go on, but they quickly realize that they've all become too reliant on technology. Meanwhile, there are these astronauts stuck in space trying to get back to Earth. The bleak art style really helps set the mood. Not normally something you'd expect from heavy metal, but still real fascinating. Another comic I enjoyed here is Kecksburg UFO. The art style reminds me of something Steve Ditko would do for Amazing Spider-Man in the 1960s. But there's plenty of other great comics featured in this magazine, too many for me to even keep count of. There's all these funny little gags, cool art pinups, and a couple of articles. There's this one about the history of Heavy Metal magazine, and then there's also this loving tribute to artist Greg Hildebrandt. He did the cover artwork for this magazine, and he sadly passed away before it came out. But look at this beautiful cover. It just captures everything about heavy metal perfectly. Rest in peace, Greg Hildebrandt. And something else I want to say is, I was honestly surprised at just how graphic this thing was. I know that we live in a very different time, but it just blows my mind that they took this magazine as far as they did. Obviously I can't show because this video might get taken down, but I swear, this magazine is just as graphic as the original magazines. This is more graphic than the movie was. There were times where even I was uncomfortable, and if you know me, you know I like a lot of messed up stuff, but wow, this does not hold back on any punches. This feels like a genuine throwback to heavy metal, and that's why I love it so much. Now, that being said, I do want to get my criticisms out of the way. So, this was funded through Kickstarter, and one of the tiers was that you would receive an early copy of the magazine, and there were lots of people complaining that they did not get their early copies. It was already in stores, and people were obviously pissed about that. Now, I do understand that this is an independent project, and selling magazines in the digital age is a major investment. But with that in mind, I do worry about how this could affect future sales, because this reboot magazine could end up failing if people decide that they do not want to invest in it anymore. I mean, I hope not. I hope that they do make future issues because the product itself is really impressive. So I guess that's really all I wanted to say. I know it's a short video, but I highly recommend this. If you're a fan of either the movie or the magazines, you gotta pick this up. So thank you for watching the video, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.